Well, good morning, everybody. You know it's Tuesday because it's Talk of the Town Tuesday. Our episode is dropping. We are Talk of the Town podcast, where each week we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Hawley, and I'm the executive director of the best chamber of commerce around, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my amazing co-host, Mr. Carlos Garcia of FYI Technologies. This week, we have our very own Jackie Heredia. She is our community engagement coordinator here at the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I wanted to start highlighting some of our staff. You know, there's 5 of us here at the chamber. Where there's only 5, but we do some amazing things. And so I wanted you guys to get to know the faces, the personalities, our staff much deeper on a deeper level. And so we're going to kick it off with you, Jackie. You are our community engagement coordinator. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. I'm very excited to be here. I'm happy to be the first staff member and just talk about all the great things that we have going on at the chamber.
I love it.
And if I can say, Danielle, too, you also, you know, with the limited staff you have, the work that you guys do is just amazing. You guys are just, people would not know everything that you guys do.
Thank you. That's what I'm going to tell people. There's only 5 of us, you guys.
Yep.
So give us some grace. You know, we're constantly trying to, relaunch some things and tweak some things and come up with some new stuff. But Jackie's a big part of that. And Jackie, you have a new position. And if anyone's been around the chamber for quite some time, we've always had like a salesy type position. That is you, but that is so not you. And so we revamped that position. Nothing against salespeople, but here at the chamber, we believe that people want to be a part of what we're doing because of relationships. And so we brought Jackie on and created an entirely new position called our Community Engagement Coordinator. And when we were restructuring, I thought, I know exactly who would be the perfect fit for this position. And so talked to Jackie, and here we are. You're going on, 4 months now in this role. So before we talk about that, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a Fontana girl, and some people may not know that about you, but tell us a little bit about your history and kind of what led you to the chamber here.
Yes, I actually really love talking about this because Fontana is a really big part of my life. This is where I grew up. So I actually came to Fontana in 2006. My parents bought a house out here, and this is where I did my life. I went to school here. I'm a product of FUSD. I graduated from Heredia Hills High School, and I went on to compete for the Miss Fontana pageant 8 times, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Yeah, it was great. It was 8 fantastic years that really shaped me, and I'm proud to say that I'm the 2023 Miss Fontana, and here I am at the chamber now working as the community engagement coordinator, and I'm just having the time of my life.
I love it. Well, we're so happy to have you on board. Let's talk a little bit about your role here. What does that mean? Community engagement. What does a typical day look like for you?
Yes, it's really just in the title. There's a lot of engagement on a day-to-day basis, just interacting with our business community, whether that's talking with current members or interacting with non-members, teaching them about what the chamber offers and how we can benefit them. I've been able to build really great relationships and just meet so many incredible people, learn their stories. It's very eye-opening because everyone has a different background in how they ended up operating the business that they operate, learning their passions, and letting them know that they have friends here at the chamber that we're here to support them. And that's what I really loved when Danielle pitched the idea of creating community engagement coordinator position as opposed to regular sales, because we're not showing up to a business and saying, hey, we're here to sell you something. It's more, hey, we're here to help you. We're here to support you. What can we do to make sure that you're thriving in your business? Everyone has different business needs. And so it's been really great. I've made incredible friends. And I love because how I live here in Fontana, I can walk into any establishment and say, hey, how are you? And have them have that same response back. So that's a little bit of what my day-to-day is.
I love that. And That's something very vital that I've even been chewing on over this last year. Having people working in the community that actually live in the community. And I see this sometimes, and nothing against people that come in and work in Fontana but live somewhere else. We appreciate you. We love you. But there's just a little extra sparkle there when you're here because you live here. And not that they don't care, right? We all care because we show up and we do our jobs, but there's something extra to be said about the ones that have grown up here and work here because you do have that secret sauce, right? Like you eat here in town when you go out at night, or you drive the roads every day, you shop at the grocery stores. And so it's a little more personal, I would say, to us that live here because you have those built-in relationships. You went to school here, you grew up here. Same thing with my story. And so I think it just has that little extra ownership. I'm going to call it ownership that we have in our city, and making sure that it thrives and is successful. And I've seen you bring that to this role, and you have a lot of natural built-in connections and relationships that you formed over the years. And one of the cute things that Jackie's really launched, I said, hey girl, this is what we're thinking for this position. Take it and run with it, because I know this was literally like tailor-made for you. You're the perfect person for this. Now go make it your own. And so you started something called Meet Your Member. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Danielle is really supportive of my idea. I know everything is social media now. Everyone is very visual, and we many times go to an establishment based off of maybe we saw a video, a friend sent it to us. And I very much can say I have done that. I have a long list of places I'm going to visit just based off of videos I've seen. And that's where that idea really just birthed from. And so Meet Our Member is a segment that we post on all of our social media platforms. I tend to make them about a minute long, just showcasing our members, showing them that love and support, because many times you hear about a business, but you don't really know what they do 100%. And so I've been able to visit a couple of our members and really highlight what it is that they do. Cedar House was one of them. I know they were on the podcast. And so I was able to take a tour of their facility and really truly understand what they do and showcase that and allow other people to see that. And that it's been doing really well. I mean, the goal is we want to continue to increase it. And what I love is that our members are so involved, and many of them are already reaching out, requesting to be on this. And so I know we're doing something really good, and hopefully continue to grow it as time proceeds.
I love it. We've done a fantastic job.
So Jackie, so you're out and about in the community. You're obviously very involved with Miss Fontana. You've been I would say a pillar, right, in the community. People know who you are. People know your story. But also, I don't think people know there's another side of you, right? And a little bird told me that you're very also creative. And I want to know more about Jackie TV and your music. A lot of people don't know this.
My joke is I'm the modern day Hannah Montana because I wear many different personalities. It just depends what I'm doing that day. So Jackie TV is it's a huge part of my story because that's really where it all started for me. I was 16. It was the year 2015, and I thought, okay, what do I want to do? Where do I see myself? I was a junior in high school, so I was 1 year away from being a senior and then graduating. And I was really just trying to find my path. And for some reason, I've always been really drawn to entertaining people. I love being in front of a camera, and it went hand in hand with Miss Fontana because I was super shy, but I always had that little sparkle of what would that be like to just be in front of people. And so it went hand in hand, and it was perfect. It allowed me to really blossom even more and become more confident. So Jackie TV is a YouTube channel that I created. So I was pretty much an independent reporter for my own channel. I created my own content. I would go out and about. I would interview different artists within the music industry, in specifically regional Mexican music. So I built amazing friendships and connections in there. But I also actually got to interview some of the businesses here in the city. So it was really fun. And that's pretty much how I built certain relationships within the city primarily. It's so funny because I tell people, I think it took people a really long time to know that my last name really wasn't TV. No one knew my last name was really Heredia because everybody would say, oh yeah, Jackie TV's here. You know, just even from Phil Cothran, I'm pretty sure I'm still in his phone saved as Jackie TV. But that's okay because at least I know it you know, I did what I wanted to do.
Brandon,
which
well.
I'm like, whoa, whew. But yeah, it's a big part of my story. And after Jackie TV, I was just continuously in the music industry, and I was in choir since I was in elementary school. And I'm a big person that I live my life with no what ifs. And so I said to myself, okay, I always have wanted to try to sing in front of a crowd, but growing up shy, you avoid it at all costs. And so I thought, okay, I feel confident right now. Let's do it. Let's mark that bucket list off. And so I performed on a stage for the first time by myself. And I thought nothing of it. I thought, okay, I'm just fulfilling something off my bucket list and moving on. And we're great and we're good to go. But for some reason, I think life just kept pushing me in that field. And I somehow ended up going on TV shows, singing. I've been on radio. It's been continuous, and I started creating music with my brother. He's a musician, so we do it together. I then started performing in festivals, and I'm actually performing in a festival soon. And so it's been really, really great. So that's the other part of me, and I think that's pretty much why I'm such a people person, and I love just any opportunity to be on camera, and that's why I got inspired to make Meet Our Member, because my entire life has just been creating content and building relationships and networking.
Well, I'm glad I can say I know her, right? So, for sure. So can't wait to see you in the show, though. I mean, that's awesome. I love the fact that I don't think a lot of people know that about you. And when I first came across it, I was just like, wait a minute, that's her, right?
That's our Jackie.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Way to go.
I love it. I love it. And you always say that you're an introvert, but you're the introvert extrovert because you're the quiet one, but you're not. Like, you love being up in front of people and you do really well speaking in front of people. But I think that's part of your journey. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, being shy and really challenging yourself. And I love that about you, that you're not afraid to be a go-getter. And speaking of being a go-getter, I want to talk about Miss Fontana, because that is an incredible story of determination and persistence that I think a lot of young ladies can benefit from hearing, but even us adults, right? Like, I think that that's something that is a character trait that we don't really see too much of these days. You know, we live in such a fast, quick, give me instant gratification society that it's far and few, I feel like, to see people that really have determination and persistence and don't give up on their goals and their dreams. And I know that being Miss Fontana was one of those. So let's talk about your story. And it has to do with the number 8. So tell us about that.
Yes. So it was 8 incredible years. When I first signed up for the pageant, I was 16 years old, junior in high school. Which it's really interesting because before the pageant, you had to be 16 to age in. And now you can enter as early as a freshman, which I love because it gives girls more time, more opportunities. But for me, I had to wait. And so I saw my friends register and I was just, when is it going to be my turn? And finally, as soon as I aged in, I remember signing up. I didn't even wait for the girls to come to my school. I just was on the website. Okay, it's ready. I can sign up now. I'm there. I'm going. And it was great. Each year I challenged myself a little bit more and I learned something different. Obviously, going in the first year, I really had no experience. And more importantly, I had no people skills because I was barely in that transitional period of learning how to speak up and be confident. And so that first year really was just that eye-opening experience that I needed to better myself and to challenge myself and make myself okay with being uncomfortable. And so then I really loved it. And I said, okay, I want to come back the following year and do it again. And so upon my second year, I made top 10 and I was crowned ambassador that year. So it was great. I got 1 year on court. I got to go out in the community, attend many events with the chamber, ribbon cuttings, and so on and so forth. And I just really fell in love with that community involvement that came with it. And it motivated me to want to try again. I said, okay, I now have a year experience. I see what it's like. But my heart was really set that I wanted to be Miss Fontana. I thought, it was just probably going to be a very cherry on top moment for me because of how much I love this city. And so I came back my third year, didn't do so hot, but I still walked away with knowledge and kind of kept going from there. Eventually, I did as well place on court 2 other occasions. So the way I tell people about my 8 years is 4 years, yes, 4 years, no. So eventually, I placed fourth runner-up and I was a princess. And then another year I was second runner-up and I was a princess. And so each year I was getting better and better. And that really just gave me that motivation of, okay, I can do this. I just need to really, really prepare myself and push myself and just do well. And so we get to 2023. It's my last year that I can compete because I was aging out. And so I was 24 at this point. And I think the difference of this year for me personally was I think I acknowledged that it was my last year. And so my approach was just to enjoy it. And I think I looked around for the first time and just acknowledged everything that was happening because I took it in as this is the last time I'm going to do this. So instead of stressing out of, oh my God, the pageant's going to come. How am I going to do? How am I going to perform? It was more so, let me really acknowledge and take it all in because once it's over, that's it. I can't ever be here as a contestant. And so I remember when I walked out on stage, I really looked out in that audience. I took my time. I fully embraced that moment. And I think for the first time, I 100% knew what the title meant to me. And so when we get to like the onstage question and Danielle was there, Danielle was the one that asked the question. As soon as she asked it, in my heart, I said, oh, I know the answer. Like for the first time in all these 8 years, like I really, really felt like I understood why I was chasing it. And so, I was very fortunate and I got that dream and I was able to win and I've been holding the title and I've been enjoying my year. And I tell a lot of people this, I'm actually glad that it took me this long to get it because I feel that I am like the most prepared in the aspect of helping those around me, especially with my court. I think I can give them so much advice because I've been able to live a lot of the events over the years, but more importantly, just the process that it took me to get to it, I feel that I really have valued it. And it's been really, really fun, and it's shortly almost going to come to an end. But for me, I don't think it's going to be as emotional of saying I'm no longer Miss Fontana. I think for me personally, it's the closing of that chapter of growing up. I mean, when I walked that stage, I was 16, and I'm going to walk that stage for the last time at 25. And so it's just really, really closing those years of figuring my life out, the awkward years of, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't want to talk to somebody right now. I'm so scared. And so for me, that's going to be the emotional side. It's just really reflecting on what it took me to get there and what's to come.
I love that. Thank you for sharing your heart and that story. And I've been there all 8 years watching you go through this program. And I can tell you when I got the results on pageant night last year, and I always go straight to the top, okay, who won Miss Fontana? And I saw your name there and I was like, oh, I was so excited because I knew it was your last year. I'd seen the journey of you coming back year after year. And it was just such a sweet moment. I felt like the little proud mom, when I got to say your name. But I love the fact that you said that you finally, it kind of landed with you, right? Like what it truly meant. And I see that in your job here at the chamber, your role here at the chamber. And I see because you've built those relationships. And I tell you girls, the staff, I said, it's all about relationships. If we don't have relationships, you can just kiss it all goodbye. If we're not kind and nice and, all of these things that we need to be and helpful, and really going back to our mission statement, being an advocate, voice, and resource to our business community, if we're not doing that, then we're not nailing it. But I'm telling you, you do such a great job with the relationships. And I think it is a testament just to your history going through the program, growing up here in Fontana, and then really translating that into your love for your community. It's evident, shows. And just so you guys know, we just did our quarterly report submitted to the city. We had 51 new members in January, February, March of this year. 51. Oh my gosh. And Jackie, you've been just instrumental in making that happen. We are setting records. And I told you girls at the start of the year, I always have a vision and a theme for the year. And I said 2024 growth like never before. And we're seeing that play out. And I think it's having the right people in the right seats here at the chamber to execute the vision for what we're trying to accomplish. So happy that you're on our team. But let's look forward for the back half of 24, because it's almost, we're almost halfway through, you guys. But I want you to talk about some of your goals for 2024 in your current role here at the chamber.
Yes, I really just want to continue building our membership base. We've been able to add so many amazing new members recently, and it's just going to keep growing from there. We would love to really see us hit that 500 mark. I think that's a good, comfortable number to reach for. It sounds challenging, but it's not impossible. We just have to put the work behind it. But yeah, and then just those relationships. Obviously we have a great group of members, but we want them to feel the love and support from us, where we're constantly checking in. And something that I love that we implement is we actually make our little phone calls every week. And we check in with our members, our 5 and 5. Yep. And I love that because it allows us to give them a phone call and just say, hey, how's it going? Because sometimes what I notice is maybe some people need assistance with something, but they either have too much going on, or they get a little shy and they don't want to reach out. And so by us giving them that friendly phone call, it gives them that opportunity to say, you know what, I actually have this going on. And then we can get right on it and help them in the best way that we can.
I love that. Well, Jackie, you're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you for being our first staff member that was featured on Talk of the Town podcast. And if you guys are out and about in Fontana, look for Jackie. She'll either have her crown on for a couple more months, or she's just walking around meeting new businesses, expanding our chamber family and the vision of what we have happening here. But Jackie, thank you so much. You've done a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see all that we accomplish through the rest of 2024. So let's talk about last week's podcast. We had Pastor Daniel Vasquez from Calvary Chapel, Fontana. This week, obviously, we have our Miss Fontana, Jackie Heredia. Next week, you don't want to miss John Hong from the Spot Apprenticeship Academy. He has an incredible story, does so much within our ambassador team in our community. So lots of new episodes coming out, you guys. Every Tuesday, we drop a new episode. We are on every streaming platform. So if you search for us on your streaming platforms, type in Fontana Chamber Business Podcast. If you go on YouTube, we make it super easy. Just find us on YouTube, Fontana Chamber of Commerce, or just go to our website, fontanachamber.org. It is right there at the top of our homepage, and it says listen or watch. So all you got to do is just click the button. We're there every Tuesday. You don't want to miss our new episodes coming out. But Jackie, once again, thank you so much for being with us this week, and we will catch everyone next Tuesday on Talk of the Town.